First of all, thank you very much for joining us this evening at the CFO Roundtable. The first, most obvious retort a lot of you will send back our way is that this is not a roundtable, it's a U-table. But that's perfectly fine. Roundtables are a little bit inefficient to manage that way. There are lots of people who are still coming in, but I think for those of you who have joined us on time, let us at least maintain our promise and our commitment to you that we will commence things on time, even though we're running a little bit late, but we'll make things up. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rabia Fareed. I'm the editor of CIO magazine in Pakistan. I'd also like to introduce you to a few people before we actually get down to the interactive session. First of all, the country sales manager of IBM Pakistan, Adnan Siddiqui Sahab. If we can please give him a big round of applause. And there's a few other people who you've come across. There's also one of the gentlemen who I think we should express our gratitude to is Abdul Rahim Surya Sahab, who's the outgoing president of ICAP. He's been very instrumental wherever you think of CFOs and chief financial officers and the new role, you do think of him. So if we can please give Surya Sahab a round of applause. And there are other people from IBM who will introduce as the evening progresses. हम आपको बहुत ज़्यादा वक्त नहीं लेंगे. Essentially, what we're doing here today is to, one, ask you, CIOs and CFOs and CEOs, what some of your biggest challenges are. We talk about inelastic organizations, which should be elastic. We talk about inefficient organizations, which should be more efficient. We talk about being new age and everything else. And we're extremely critical about our own, what our own functionalities are. And so, keeping in mind the CFO study that IBM conducted with 1,900 CFOs from around the world, and Adnan Sahab will tell you a little bit more about that. पूरी दुनिया से CFOs ने अपनी input दी है, and we would like to begin interaction with chief financial officers within Pakistan, across Pakistan, to find out whether these challenges are even applicable with all of you, and put things forward. Without any further ado, I'm going to invite Adnan Siddiqui Sahab on to take my place and talk to you a little bit more about the study.
My name is Adnan Siddiqui and I'm the country sales manager of IBM here in Pakistan. Been with IBM for a long time now, but obviously this is my first time addressing such a gathering of financial gurus, I would say. There are some colleagues who are part of the IT organizations within their own organizations. These are the ones we keep meeting quite frequently, but obviously not the CFOs or the finance personnel. Let me say that this study that we have done, IBM has done, is not a new study. This is the fourth time that we have repeated this over the last, I guess, 7 or 8 years. Before we start the discussion of today and the topic of today, I would just very quickly like to introduce IBM to you all. Some of you probably know about IBM, but some of you might not, or might have heard just the name and not the extent to which we have been involved in the Pakistan IT market. So let me just very quickly tell you about IBM worldwide. IBM is one of the world's largest information technology services company. I'll emphasize on services even further. We are serving about 174 countries across the globe. Our headquarters in New York, and in the year 2009, IBM reported 95.78 billion in revenue and 13.45 billion in net income. This was our last year's results. As of today, if you look at this chart, our earnings per share is nearly about $10 per share, and the target is to reach $20 per share by 2015. About 8 years back, when we were given the target of $10 by 2010 or by 2009, we thought we could probably never do it. But somehow, with all the efforts in spite of all the upheaval and the global financial crisis, we have been able to continue with the earnings per share growth, as you can see, starting from 2002 upwards. So we are, as you can see, we generate about 100 billion in free cash flow, returning 70% of it in terms to our shareholders. So I guess you people can better understand what that means for a company of IBM size. Now let's talk about Pakistan. IBM Pakistan was established in 1952 as a branch office of IBM. We are still a branch office of IBM Corporation in Pakistan. 500 employees, and out of these 500 employees, 300 were hired in the last 3.5 years. And we've got 10 business partners. So this shows our growth over the last 3 to 4 years, how much we have been growing in Pakistan, and why that we'll share with you. Then we've got a 300 employee IBM delivery center for consulting and system integration in Pakistan. Now this is something which is a very, very well kept secret, that we are running an international delivery center in Pakistan, and that this means that we do international projects from Pakistan with our resources. And the target in the next 2.5 years is to take this number to 1,000. So another 700 consultants we would be hiring in Pakistan. We already have 300 on board in this delivery center. Then we have got a business continuity and resilience center in Karachi, which means it's a disaster recovery center in Karachi, which is the 149th such delivery center all over the world, which is run by IBM. And over here in Pakistan, we are managing the disaster recovery for Habib Bank. We've got some 7 or 8 smaller banks with us, SSDC, and other companies, and recently MCB is the new addition to this list. So basically, some of the very important and big organizations of Pakistan rely on us for keeping their disaster recovery side. And when I talk about MCB and Habib Bank, they are actually using our disaster recovery as their live backup or real-time backup, which means even if one of their branches in New York or Hong Kong goes down, they connect to the disaster recovery side. Then major revenue contribution by services, consultancy, and software. This is our major focus, and we are, I know, known as a hardware company, but actually hardware is probably 15 to 20% of our total revenue, even in Pakistan. This is our growth over the last 5 years in Pakistan. The numbers speak for themselves, that we have been growing over the last 5 years. And I just want you to get a little inquisitive about it, that what is it that IBM is doing and why are they growing. In Pakistan, we have just last year moved into our new office. This is just to show you that we are investing in Pakistan. We were previously on an 18,000 square feet office, which has doubled to 45,000, more than doubled to 45,000 square feet, and with all the amenities. And likewise, we moved into a new office in Lahore, new offices in Islamabad over the last 2 to 3 years, just to facilitate the growing business that that is coming our way. So this was a little about IBM. I tried not to make it a sales pitch. I just wanted to introduce IBM in Pakistan as of today, to especially our finance colleagues, because we keep boring our IT colleagues about IBM and what IBM is doing in Pakistan, but maybe to our finance colleagues this is news. Okay, now let's move to the topic of the day, and the new value integrator. Value integrator, by the way, is the term coined by IBM for world-class finance organizations. IBM says that the finance organization that adds value to its business, not by engaging in its core business, but being part of the organizational decision making, is the finance organization which could be called a value integrator. And this is also the topic of this year's report. We started publishing these reports from 2003. In 2003, we did a survey of about 450 CFOs, obviously all over the world, but it was a relatively smaller number, and then it kept increasing to 2005, 2008, and 2010 report, or in 2010 study, more than 1900 CFOs participated. So a lot of people have given their input, a lot of CFOs have given their input for this study. And the reason we are launching it in Pakistan formally is because starting from now onwards, we want our own Pakistani CFOs to be part of this study. We would present the findings of this study today to you, and then we would request you to basically give your point of view, that how relevant it is to Pakistan, or what are the things that are relevant to you or not. The mix of different people or companies who have participated in this study is given on this slide. Like from all the geographies, Asia Pac, America, and EMEA, the companies were taken. All size of enterprises above $500 million were taken. There was some less than 500 million as well, but very small number. Sector-wise, public sector, communications, distribution, financial services, all were there, and different roles of people. Those CFOs who participated, they had different roles, which means that some had country roles, some had regional roles, some had worldwide roles. And likewise, their titles were different as well, like CFOs, deputy CFOs, directors, SVPs, controller, treasurers, all kinds of finance people were involved in this study. So you can say that this was spread all over the industry, different type of industries, different levels of skills within finance departments. Okay, coming directly to the point, when we started doing this particular study, of course there was a global financial crisis. Things started looking better, but still things were not as good as they previously were. And afterwards, we found out that a new economic environment emerged, and the new economic environment had new requirements. It had new sorts of. It has put new pressures on the business managers, on the CFOs especially, and other managers. And we basically asked our CFOs, how is your role changing because of this changing economic environment? We asked for three mainly. Of course, there were a lot of questions under three main headings. One was, what finance model achieves the optimal mix of capabilities needed to outperform your competition? The other was, what can CFOs do to enable timely and informed decision making? This is something very important. This is something which is expected of a CFO or a finance department. And the third is, how can the CFO help the enterprise anticipate and shape its environment proactively? Obviously, not just provide reports to the senior management or the decision makers, but give insight using the knowledge and the information that they have, and become part of the decision-making mechanism within an organization. We found out that CFOs believe that industry and sector pressures will increase challenges and opportunities over the next 3 years. Obviously, yes, pressures would increase, but at the same time, opportunities would also increase. And how to capitalize on those opportunities. As a result of these factors, 60% of finance organizations believe that they have to make major changes to respond within themselves, like as a finance department, as a finance organization within an organization. They need to change themselves in order to respond to these changing environments. CFOs are taking a more prominent role in enterprise decision making. This is what the CFOs themselves have told us, that their role has become more important in the enterprise decision making than previously, whatever it was previously from that. Over 70% of CFOs believe that they have an advisory or decision making role on the enterprise agenda. Now, enterprise agenda is, of course, the strategy of the business and where the CEO and the board is leading the organization. So CFOs have an increasing role in the decision making of the organization. When we talk about this enterprise agenda, these are these factors which were part of either the core finance function or the enterprise focus function, which are part of the enterprise agenda. And we found out, CFOs themselves told us that how much importance they give to each factor, and how much effective they themselves are if they consider that this particular factor is so much important to me, but at this point in time, I'm not being as effective as I should have been. So there is a definite gap, if you can see, there is a definite gap between the importance that they give to each factor and how effective they are in accordance with this factor. Except for driving finance function for cost reduction, except for cost reduction where the gap is only 9%, on all the remaining factors the gap is quite huge. You can see that these are some of the enterprise focused activities that the CFOs have mentioned that they have been involved in. And over the period of time, the importance of each activity has increased for the CFO. Like for instance, if we look at measuring and monitoring business performance, in the year 2005, only 69% thought that this is important to them or for them. Now 85% are saying that it's important for them. Likewise, if you move all the way to the right, driving integration across the enterprise. Now, integration of information, driving integration of information across the enterprise. In 2005, only 35% thought that it matters to them or it's something that they should be involved in. As of today, 78% are saying there's a huge increase, 109% of increase in the importance that the CFO are giving to it from 2005 to 2010. So basically, a broader enterprise focused roles requires core finance efficiency. Based on whatever we have discussed right now, the gist is that a broader enterprise focused role requires core finance efficiency to be in place to reliably support business insight and decision making. Core finance efficiency, whatever you are already doing, be efficient in that to be able to help decision making and business insight of your organization, of your CEO, of your top management, yourself of course, which you of course are part of the top management. So to do that, the demands on finance are help drive enterprise cost reduction. This is something that already everybody has been doing. Then improve access to and reduce cost of capital. This is probably something that is expected of you already. Support risk management, increasing focus on risk management. Provide performance insight and anticipation of the future. Partner in strategy and value creation. Now this is something which you are expected of, as all these 1900 plus CFOs are saying that we are expected more to be partner in strategy and value creation. We are not just only somebody doing the back office work or providing reports. We are somebody who's part of the decision making process and partnering in strategy and value creation for the organization. So in order to do that, the finance should have two capabilities: finance efficiencies and business insight. Finance efficiency is something that you've always been working on. Business insight is something that you should be focusing on, or they thought, or the CFOs thought that they should be focusing more on. Based on all these answers, we were able to divide the finance organizations into 4 different categories. The first one was scorekeepers. The second was disciplined operators. Third was constrained advisors. And the final, value integrators. And value integrators are the ones who contribute most to the bottom line of the company. Wherever in a particular organization where the finance department or the finance organization can be called a value integrator, is the one who is contributing most to the bottom line of the organization. This is what the CFOs are saying. Now, as you can see on the right, I won't go into this detail, but as you can see on the right, revenue growth, stock price, return on invested capital, EBI, TDA, I don't know if there is a short name for this, but all of this, you can see that all of this has increased for those companies who have got their finance departments as value integrators. This is my final slide, and this clearly shows that value integrators are increasing. This purple bar are for value integrators, and the gray bar is for all the other finance organizations. So you can see the value integrators are contributing more and more to the bottom line of the organization, no matter which matrix of measurement you take. Value integrators add more. This is basically the message. During the course of today's event, we'll go more in depth of this of some of these topics, and would ask your feedback and what do you think about it, and then from your feedback we'll try to assimilate some kind of a working paper which we can present back to our parent company or our head office, and then make a case that smaller companies, companies from the growth markets like ours, companies who have got turnover less than 500 million should become part of such a study in the future. Thank you, Rabia, back to you.
I'd just like to quickly go around the room, and if you could just briefly introduce yourself. I know we did have a networking session, but some of us have joined the table a little late. Sir, if we could start from you.
My name is Bilal Amanullah Multi. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Arif Habib Limited. Arif Habib Limited basically has two business lines, brokerage as well as investment banking. And of course, finance is one function which is dear to my heart. And that's why I'm here, to basically learn more of the things from you as well, and value integration one way or the other. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum ji. My name is Naufal Mahmood. I'm the Chief Information Officer for Karachi Electric Supply Company. And I think I don't need to say anything else. Everybody seems to know Karachi Electric.
Yes, quite well. Better, more intimately than most of us would like to know.
My name is Mohammed Bilal. I am Financial Controller of Macro International Private Limited. It's a pharmaceutical company engaged in manufacturing pharmaceutical products for all customers as well as commercial products.
My name is Adil Shah, and I'm here from CNBC Pakistan. I anchor Power Lunch, not a CFO. Guys.
Adil was actually very kind to join us because you've just gotten off the air a short while ago, but we thought that which media personality should we invite to kind of grill the CFOs, and you were on top of the list there. So that's your role here today. In addition to Surya Saab and myself, it's also you.
My name is Ishan Kudus. I am from Arif Habib Investments. I'm the CFO of the company. Just to update you, Arif Habib Investments is the asset management company that manages mutual funds and pension funds.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Amir Amin. I am CFO at NIT, National Investment Trust Limited. NIT is the largest mutual fund. We are managing around 72 billion of each fund.
My name is Kashif Nawal, representing Pakistan Refinery, working as Company Secretary and Financial Controller. With regard to PR, I will refuel your cars soon.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Ahmed Asim. I'm representing Bank Salman Investments Limited and CFO and Company Secretary.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Saqib Jalil. I'm from Pakistan Petroleum Limited and working as a deputy chief accountant over there, and E&P company PPM.
My name is Yaqub Sattar and I work for Pakistan State Oil as the finance director.
My name is Abdul Rahim Surya and I run my own audit firm under the name AR Surya & Co.
My name is Farid Alam. I'm the Chief Executive at KKD Securities Limited. Of the 18 years that I've been into this business, it's only 2 years that I've worked as the CFO. But beyond that, I've been doing everything, not finance.
When we talk about sustainability, that's when all the number crunching and the changing role of all of you people in this hall. That changing role is something which, someone who perhaps inspires growth within the organization. But I think that's a continuous challenge. And may I please request Abdul Rahim Surya sir to talk about the CFO role in sustaining organizational growth.
We have time to discuss the subject. My old friends are mostly from finance. As all you know, that our subject is considered to be the most dry and boring. Those who deal with the medical and engineering, they have a fear about accounting and finance. But now, in the past few years, it has got some charm. Charm is in terms of reward That's why many students you will observe are moving towards this profession. When you talk about sustainability, sustainability is broadly defined as the economic, environmental, and social viability and performance of an organization, and covers a wide range of issues such as ethical responsibility and sound governance, climate changes and carbon reduction, employee relations and human rights, providing social and economic development within communities. The IFAC sustainability framework can help professional accountants grasp all the important aspects of sustainability that may encounter directly or indirectly and that will be important to the organization. In the year 2000, the Institute of Directors in South Africa published the King Code of Governance for South Africa, that's called King 3. It focuses on sustainability. King 3 not only advocates a focus on sustainability by corporate boards, but assesses for integrated reporting of financial and sustainability information. My dear friends, as you all know, the role of CFO is shifting dramatically from a transaction manager now to a communicator, a strategist, and a business leader. The CFO is involved more in ensuring that the information is correct rather than actually being involved in the preparation and creating the information. The CFO is expected to be a good communicator, and for that he needs support of technology. As you all know, that technology, standardization of data, managing external relationships and developing human resources are some of the key factors which are required to be focused by the CFO. His change role with change of mindset will help in sustaining organizational growth. It is to be noted with great care that where technology advances have increased the availability of information, they have correspondingly increased the potential for inaccurate reporting and for decision making. Thus, management information system need to be efficient. MIS is a critical component of a company's overall success. Overall risk management strategy. Management can use MIS to monitor the effectiveness of the company's risk control. We at ICAP recently held a conference on the same topic in March 2010, where the committee chairman, Mr. Yakub Sattar, said, I quote his words, he said that CFO have access to a large volume of data in the organization. It is extremely important that the right information goes to the right place for the right people to make the right decisions. Timing is again important, as late information is redundant and of no use. I just quote the few comments of the CFO of the Microsoft, which when he was interviewed by a leading journalist, Robert Bruce. He said that the biggest difference from 10 years ago is the real-time global distribution of data. We are going to just continue to see enormous increases in the use of all forms of communication, and the cost of communication will drop sharply. With this, I leave it to you for further discussion.
All right. So then I'm going to call out on three people who are now going to help drive the discussion with me. So Surya, it's you. You're not off the hook, sir. Adansa, it's you. You're not off the hook either. After presentation khatam hogi, but we'll keep calling on you, and Adil. Now, the changing role of this CFO is very interesting, and there's a heavy reliance and dependence on information technology, which would mean, I think, that you have a reliance on your IT department also. So we have a few CIOs here, and we have a few CFOs here. I'm wondering, my first question to you is, are CIOs and CFOs friends? Is technology and the finance department, the business, is that a marriage of convenience, or is it something which is going to be divorced very quickly? I'm talking about throughout strategy. Adnan Saab baat ki कि the CFO study talks about driving innovation.
If I can just slightly add slightly on the serious note, side on the lighter side. I think, in my opinion, I'm not very learned in terms of the financial side of it, because I've just been, I would rate myself as a student. Yes, the relationship between the CFO and CIO is very much there. They go side by side, but it's about time that we convert that relationship and we convert IT from a cost center to a business enabler. in most of the organizations, I'm not referring to a specific organization, IT is being treated as a cost center by and large. It needs to be elevated to a level of partner. They need to have an equal share in terms of the enterprise strategy and decide that as a business enabler rather than just a burden on the enterprise.
Okay. Can I just ask what the perspective, because Suri sir आपने एक interesting चीज के बारे में बात की थी, that cost of communication, all this technology is going to go down eventually for the organization. I'm wondering if the CFOs can kind of comment, is that the kind of future that you see in Pakistan? Is technology going to be an investment or will it continue to be a cost center for your organization?
Okay, since the topic is very interesting, changing role of CFO, I would like to add a point before answering the question. Of course. I mean, 5-10 years back, when you say CFO is also responsible for budgeting, this used to mean, they'll put the numbers in a spreadsheet and present to the board. Now, with the changing role of CFO, there's more of a strategic planning that is involved as part of CFO's job description. When you say a genuine or serious strategic planning, that basically includes linking different parts of the organization and put them together as one single set of information or document, and assessing the risk as well. So when you say assessing risk in strategic planning, IT and finance has to go side by side. I mean, I don't see it any other way.
I was just wondering, even 10 years back, a period back, the more powerful, I was just relating my comment from what emanated from this press example you said. It depends also on the organization to organization. When you said CIO and CFO roles, although they are considered by the production guys to be the cost centers, both of them, they share the similarity between the two is that the production guys, they keep, there's a time they keep them sidelined. They are the number crunchers and they are the overheads, etc.
But always say no. They're the no men.
Yes, and it's not long. I'm just referring to 12 or 12 years back when so Director of Finance with League Admin used to be the title in many government organizations, and in that title, the finance guy will try to find more strength in the administration part of it, not the financial part of it. But here you have asked top-notch corporates to be, participate in the discussion. I think a lot of things which we will discuss here will only be applicable to the top-notch organizations, not necessarily depicting what's going on in the manufacturing companies, which may be large in number, but their CFO's role will entirely be different than what we will be discussing here.
Sustainability की जब बात आती है, तो how do organizations map their sustainability over the next 4 years, 5 years? एक risk element पाकिस्तान में खासा रहता है, uncertainty, turbulent economic environment. You've got a lot of issues from just the financial side, if nothing else, which are always a problem in your decision making. So how do you foresee that organizations will be sustainable in the next 3, 4, 5 years? And is it even possible to think that far?